Safety always comes first, and it certainly comes first when it comes to collecting. In this video, we're going to break down and look at all the ways to keep your collection safe. So if you went out there and bought an expensive new car, you got a new pair of Air Jordans, you got yourself a Monet painting, whenever you got any of those items into possession, you'd want to protect them and you'd want to make sure you did everything you can to preserve them, wouldn't you? So why the fuck wouldn't you do it with your soccer cards? So let's look at all the ways you can and should be trying to protect your collection. I saw an interesting fact with the channel this week. 80% of our viewers aren't subscribed. Help the channel out with a little click on that subscribe button. It might seem like a simple thing, and it is a simple thing, but it would mean the world because it will help this show grow. So if you haven't already, click that subscribe button, leave us a comment, and if you feel like it, click that like button. So for all of this, I'm going to be using two base cards that I have in my collection. It's a couple of duplicates that are just lying around. That way, whenever I do this, if I do any damage, I'm doing it on a card that I'm not worried about. Whether you know it or not, there is a different thickness to many cards you'll get. They go by a point system. So the two in front of you that you see here, these are classified as 35 points. As you can see, it's very thin. And that is the standard sizing for your cards you'll normally get in a packet or when you buy them online. Something that's very important to obtain, and I did a long time ago, I really recommend you, before you get anywhere into this, download yourself a copy of BCW's card thickness point gauge. It's really important, makes your life so much easier. The reason this is important is it gives you a guide as to how thick the card in question is. So it's a great way to help you when purchasing your supplies to keep your cards safe. So as you can see on that scale there, you can get all the way from these guys, which is 35 point, all the way up to 360. So these guys are the base size. And then this bad boy is a 360, big chunky sucker. So that obviously is at the end of the spectrum. So we know the thickness of our card. What's the first step? Get yourself some card sleeves, otherwise known as penny sleeves. Very cheap, very affordable. You can get a pack of 100 for about a couple of bucks, maybe $2, maybe less. And they look like this. Card sleeves, these are the standard ones. You can, of course, if you've got thicker cards, all the way up to about the 180 point, you can get the thicker size card sleeve. It's just a little beautiful piece of plastic, and it's got a little slit at the top. Let's see if we can see that. Yeah, you can see that little movement. So what we do is we take our card and we put it in the sleeve. So that's your first layer of protection. So let's put Richie in a sleeve. Grab one of these bad boys. Now, as you can see, you kind of force it open a little bit, find the hole, that's what she said, and then you slot it in. There we go. So there's our two cards in their sleeves. So they're already in their sleeve. What's the next step? Some people, and there's nothing wrong with this, they'll want to take them in their sleeves and put them in a binder. What I tend to do, even if these cards are going in a binder, I like to then put them in a top loader. So this is a rigid piece of plastic that has a cut at the top of one end. As you can see, my finger's in there, but you can't gain access anywhere else. So if you haven't done this before, it can take a little bit of practice, but there are two little ways you can do it. There is a slight little cut of air there showing. So you can take your card, find the gap like that, and then like that. Now he's in his top loader. So that's one way you can do it. An alternative way, let's get another top loader for this bad boy. You take it, you use your finger, you ply it open just that little bit. You hear that little crack? You take that, push it there. Now, some people like to do the tap method. It's up to you. They go, And as you can see, the card has come all the way to the base. Up to you. If you're not feeling comfortable enough to do the tap action, just give it that slight little nudge. Don't push too hard. Give it that slight little nudge and it will get it down to the bottom. So you sleeved your cards, you've top loaded them. Now from here, you can just store them as they are, or like me, I then put them into a binder. Shout out to the lads in Australia, Palms Off Gaming. Not sponsored, but big fans of these guys. I love to support the Australian little companies. These guys specialize in the TCG realm, you know, Pokemon, Magic the Gathering, but this stuff that they make is just as good for sports cards. So this is a top loader binder. As you can see, I just slat it out. There's Bale in his top loader, inside a sleeve. And look at that. Great accessory for collectors of all kinds, not just TCG. Not sponsored, but hey, love to be your first sports collector. Palms off. Just saying. But anyway, seriously. But yeah, this is great. Get into this. It's about 50 bucks Australian. I think it's about 60 with postage. Great way to keep your top loaders in a binder if that's what you want to do. I can hear you saying, but hang on, this card that I've got is too nice to be in a binder. What are other ways to protect my card? Okay, I got you, bro. What you can do is get some of these. They're called One Touch. It is a very efficient, very safe, beautiful way to keep your cards even nicer. You can throw them in these, get a little stand holder, put them on display. These, as well as the top loaders and the sleeves, come in a variety of sizes. As you can see on screen, that's 130 point. This card's not 130 point. You can put it in it, but it's going to rattle around, it's going to roll around, and all that edging, all the sides are going to get bashed, dented, and it isn't going to look good. So I'm going to show you what it looks like. There's a 35 point in front of us. So let's take Dejan out of his sleeve. So you've got your One Touch open. Very simple. Just place the card in like that. Take your top. As you can see, these little spots goes into there. Click. And look at that. You've now got it in complete case protection. Sometimes that protection's not even enough. Card safe, resealable bags. Come in every size, as you can see, 35 all the way up to 180. Very simple to use. Just take one out, turn it around, slide it in like that, and then you got your sticky spot. Take that off and just fold it over. There you go. There is your card in a One Touch in a sleeve as well. So that is fully protected. The only thing that's not going to protect that is if you decide to throw it across the fucking room. Another way of protecting your cards, if it's just base cards, so you're not wanting to put them in a sleeve, you don't want to put them in a binder, but you want to keep them all together, a great idea and a great thing to grab yourself are some team bags. Really easy to use. It's basically just a pouch. You can throw a bunch of your cards in there easy. So say, for example, you get a ton of Tottenham base cards. You want to keep them, but you don't want to go to all the effort that you have to protect them. Throw them in a team bag, seal them up, and put them somewhere safe. There are two other ways to protect your cards as well. One we've seen in the past and we'll dive into in a future video. That's grading your cards. The other one is a semi-rigid holder. We'll come into that later down the track when we discuss about how to submit your cards for grading. So for the time being, there are other two ways of protecting, but let's just save them for a future video. So there you have some of the simple yet essential ways to protect your collection. Like I said at the start, if you're going to spend the time and money collecting, then the least you should do is put some time and effort into keeping those collections protected. What I recommend you do, like myself, is I wait till some are on special and I bulk up. I've got a ridiculous amount of top loaders. Looking over there, it's probably about 400 top loaders. I've got countless one-touches. I've got 4 binders. I've got carry cases for one-touches, carry cases for slabs. For me, protection is just a guarantee. You got to go forward with it. Otherwise, you might regret it. In many aspects of life, if you don't go with protection, you will regret it. So I hope this helps you if you're a new collector, or even if you're a seasoned collector and you only knew a couple of those steps. I hope this helps you out. I hope it helps you elevate and protect your collection better. This has been Totally Football Cards. My name's Jeremy. Yeah, buddy, let's get it.